No. All right. Is it live? Let's check. Cream. Cream. Love you too. Oh, love you too. Cream. Cream, I gotta check. I got it. I got it. All right, let's see if this phone can get a log. Let's check this stuff. All right, let's see. 1900. Oh, it's right here. All right. Oh, it works. Now I'll just turn the volume down on this. All right. Gotta make sure I can't hear myself. Cool. Ultraman? Where am I? Oh, yeah, man. I'm back at my place in good old Florida, where it's warm and not frozen like Kentucky. Oh, I'm not on camera? Oh, why am I not on camera? Phone, phone, nuts. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? Let's see. What's going on with you? Why am I not on camera? Am I on camera now? Did it switch to front camera for some reason? Let's see. Uh, oh, there's like a thing. 1 second. I gotta figure out how to get rid of this thing. It's talking about moderation and whatnot. Let's see. No, I don't need to learn more. I'm in the middle of doing a live. Why would I want to learn more at this moment in time? No, no, no. I want to exit out of you. All right. How do I exit out of you, Mister? To build a positive hierarchy of experiences. Let's see. What? No. No. No, I don't need to double tap and hold to move. All right, where's my... Cool. I can add moderators and do all sorts of times outs and all sorts of things like that. Cool. There it is. The close button. Yay! I hope that didn't... No. Close. Ah! All right. Wait. Can you see me now? Let's see. I'm gonna look at my chats. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Is it on front camera or rear? Because this is front camera, and this is rear camera. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Wait. All right. So, what about now? Do you see me now? I feel like the Verizon guy. Can you see me now? Blind people problems, yo. Let's see. Cream. Yeah, so you see Cream now? Who's a good Cream? Who's a good Cream? Cream. Why do you got to attack Windcharger like that? He's already knocked over Cyclonus, the bane of Transformers' existence. All right. No, Cream, what are you doing? Cream. What do you want? No, stop attacking the Cobra Rattler with your butt. Knock it off the frame. Who did you just destroy? No, Warpath does not deserve to be treated like that. What do you ever do to you? Okay, so. Yeah, he is a nice cat. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch this over here. And there you go. All right, so that's all good. He's done knocked everything off of the stage. I had this really nice setup over here with the mini bots and stuff. And hey, don't bite my elbow. Why do you want to bite my elbow? And no, I'm not feeding you early. I'm not. No, you have enough. Yeah. You're like a big old blob cat. You don't need to be fed anymore. Anyway, so yeah, I'm waiting for like a few more people to get in here, I guess. So because I want to tell the Kentucky story and tell you all about how I ended up getting a hold of Windcharger. And it wasn't well, it wasn't a quick endeavor to get a hold of Windcharger. And it took a couple of months. I had pre-ordered them on Amazon, but I had to cancel that pre-order because of money. I'm going to put Cyclonus. Cyclonus, you can just chill over here. I don't think Cream's going to knock you over if you're over here. You can just hang out and be your awesome purpley self. Yeah. Who's a good Cyclonus? You're a good Cyclonus. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there who, has Valentine's Days. To all you people in countries that don't have Valentine's Days, happy February the 14th. But what was that? Cat. Let's see. How do I know how many people are in here? Wait. Did I shut the... Ah, crap. Did the live stop? Did I screw up? Or okay, wait. Okay, I think it's still going. All right, let me check because I'm wondering if I accidentally shut off the live feed because I touched something. Oh, cool. No, it's still going. It's just my other phone is being slow as anything. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. There's a lot of visual cues when you're doing this stuff, and when you're blind, you can't just look up and see the visual cues and be like, oh, okay, cool. That's still happening. Instead, you kind of just got to rely on crazy technology that doesn't always work. And for some reason, that chat is just being as slow as crap. What is... All right, cool. All right, so I fixed that. All right, cool. We all fixed that. All right, cat's good. I'm good. Cool. So I went to Kentucky. I've been busy. since December. That's why I haven't had a lot of videos uploaded on the channel. What do you have against Cyclonus? What do you have against Cyclonus? That is the second time you've purposely knocked. No, don't go over there. That is where a keyboard is. You fat thing. Go back over here. Okay. No. On the table. On the table. Okay. Do I need to put the keyboard away? I'm just gonna set the keyboard over here. Ah, Cream. I'm trying to talk about something that happened. No, don't rub against the rattler. That giant plane is not yours. You silly animal. Oh. Hey, Tiffany. I just noticed going over the live chat since Cream attacked me with his loves. Oh. Huh. Well, I invited a few people to join us, and I was hoping they would show up by now. Oh, well. I guess they'll either show up or they won't. So, the Kentucky thing, I guess I'll be explaining it to a couple of people. Maybe more will show up in time. Yeah, so midway through December, like the 14th or something like that, I ended up going to Kentucky on a wild... What? G0 and stop? What is that? $67. What? Okay. I need to stop getting distracted by things. And it's difficult to tell this story enough because it's been a long, long time and I need to tell it. So it needs to get told. And Cream is just not. Cream, go over here. Who's a good Cream? Who's a good Cream? Yeah, Cream. Huh? You want loves? I guess I'm not spending enough attention to you. Oh. Anyway, so in December, just butt my head, why don't you? I went to Kentucky on a wild excursion trip. We were driving this lady named Dorothy up to Kentucky because her husband was in the hospital with a heart problem, and so the woman that was hanging out with me, Beth, she and me got together, and we were going to take Dorothy home, back to the hospital, so that she could be with her husband in the hospital during this crazy time, because it was like Christmas and nobody... Cream, you were just not having it today. Oh my God, Cream, what's going on in that? Oh my God, Cream. Oh. Okay. So we and Cream. Oh my God. I think Cream just wants the live video to be just about him today, because he is going to get himself put out of the studio. He doesn't stop it. You know what, Cream? You've been such a loving cat. I know how to help. I know how to stop this man. Here, have a couple of treats. Yeah, creams for treats. Creams for treats. Treat. Oh yes. Cream likes his treats. All right. Of course he likes his treats. You see how big he is? No, you were supposed to eat the treats and lay down. No, I want more treats. Yeah, Ultramont. Cream is stealing the show today. He is not he's not being very courteous to the other people on camera. He is he's terrible. No, I'm just reading the chat screen. You get off the stage. You're like, no, I won't get off this stage. Yeah, I should have fed him before I did the video. No, get off the keyboard. No, your fat ass will break it. Get off the keyboard. I guess I'll keep the keyboard over here with me. Yeah, he's missing me a lot because I've been gone for 11 days. More like 12. And he's been without me that entire time, and so he's been just a little overbearing on the attention seeking over the past few days. He keeps waking me up in the middle of the night just to make sure that I'm there, and I give him scratches, and then he'll go back to sleep. I wake up to him purring in my ear just so I give him scratches, and then he stops purring and goes back to sleep. And it's this cat really misses me. And that keyboard's going to get stuck over there. Let's see. Yeah, I am literally getting creamed by this cat. What happened? All right. Okay. That was weird. Yeah, I am. All right. I think I fixed everything weird happening in the chat menu on my side. I had to check something on the phone, so excuse that. Y'all can look at him for a second. Let's go with this stuff. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know what these number 1s and number 2s are. They keep popping up. They're weird. Yeah, I'm still streaming, I think. Am I? I'm not sure if it's still videoing or not. I'm not sure. It's weird. Can you hear me? Huh. Okay. Wait. Really? Did it stop? No, I don't want to stop streaming. All right, we're gonna try and share it real quick. All right, we're gonna copy this real quick. Yeah, I think I am, but let me know. Okay, cool. Just trying to figure out how to share this with a friend. Let's see. I'm gonna try and share it to my Facebook real quick. Let's see. Let's do. Huh. There's so much I'm learning about this as I go. I really should do this more often. Ah, cool. Ah, I think I put the camera back. Is it cool? I think I'm good. I sent out a thing. I made a little Facebook post where I copied the link and pasted it. So yeah, maybe new things will start happening. Let's see. Ah, cool. Ah, Cream. No, don't attack the light. Cream, you giant freaking cat. Yeah, you're a giant cat. You cost me so much money in food. Oh. Here. Have a treat. Yeah, Cream likes treats. Treats for Cream. Look. Yeah, use the brain cell. There you go. Yeah. All right. Now he's distracted. I'm leaning on my keyboard again, and yeah, Cream is always back on the scene. No, I said your name. No. Look, this hand wants to give you loves. There you go. Yes. Yeah, so this Kentucky trip and I made back in December. Ah, great. Don't lick the inside of my nose. All right. So where was I in this story? Okay, so we're going up from Florida to Kentucky to take this woman named Dorothy to her husband named Bob, who's apparently in the hospital with a heart condition. And, we're worried about him. And we want to make sure that Dorothy gets to her husband because, it's Christmas. And nobody should be alone for Christmas. And so I jump in the car with him. We're actually at the club when this is going down, and she comes up to the back area of the club and gives me this big hug and explains that she has to take Dorothy to the hospital, that she's worried about Bob, and she doesn't want Dorothy to miss anything and wants to make sure Dorothy is there for Bob. And she's crying and she's hugging me, and I can't help but think, I need to go with this person. My gut's just telling me I need to go. She leaves. Like, she goes down the stairs to the parking lot to get in the car, and I look over at a fellow bar goer,
And I ask him, like, hey, you heard all that, right? And he's like, yeah, he's rolling himself a cigarette. And he goes, yeah, yeah, I heard it all. And I went, what do you think? Because my gut's saying I should go. And I'm assuming he looks at me because his voice changes from pointing down here to pointing up here. And he goes, what are your obligations for the next few days? And I go, my obligations? I don't have any obligations for the next few days. I don't have any obligations at all. And the guy goes, okay, cool. I think you should answer the call to adventure. And I thought about it for a second. And I go, my gut's saying, do it. And this guy's saying, answer the call to adventure. So I call him up on the phone. And I go, hey, do you want me to come with you? And they're like, no, no, no. I don't want you to come with me. And I go, no, 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 no. I don't want excuses. I don't want things. You give me a bunch of stuff. There's no room in the car, stuff like that. I'll figure it out. Do you want me to come with you? And they give me the roundabout again. And I go, no, stop it. I'm asking you. Do you want me to come with you? And then they go, yeah, I would love for you to, but, and I, cream, I'm trying to tell a story here. And she says, I would love for you to, but, and I went, no buts about it. I'm going to get in the car. I'm coming down the stairs right now. I'll see you in the parking lot. And I, pulled out my blind cane, tapped my way over to the stairs, and I got down those things just as quickly and safely as I could and tapped my way to the parking lot. And meanwhile, the guy that was rolling the cigarette, he's following me. And I get to the car and I jump into the car and he runs up to the window and he's like, go save your Princess Peach. And he passes me the thing he was rolling. And I'm like, oh, well, thanks. So I slip it into my pocket. People pass you things like that. You be nice to them. I slipped it into my pocket. And we were off on the road. I stopped by my place to pick up my bag. You pack a little bit of a go bag. And then we went to the other place to get her car. Went to get her car. We packed up into the car and we left. We left real fast. And heading up to Kentucky. We're going to get this woman to the hospital. Well, now's the right time to interrupt. It's a breath time. You good? You don't want to? You're just going to roll over? All right, excellent. So we get to Macon, Georgia. And we got to pull over because I need to use the restroom. I got to hit the head. I was a Jaeger bomb and 3 beers into a night, and I may have smoked a little something extra. And it was I was doing pretty good, but I had to take a leak bad. So we stop over at a Waffle House, and I go to the bathroom, and I come out of the bathroom, and this woman, Beth, is explaining to me that she just found out that Dorothy lied about everything. That Dorothy's husband Bob ain't in the hospital because she was talking about Bob being at home and wondering if Bob got a vehicle or something like that. No, I gave you a moment to interrupt just a second ago, Cream. And now, no, Cream. Stop rubbing your entire body against my face. You're getting cat hair all over my face. All right, what's going on in the chat? Yeah. Thank you. All right. So anyway, where was I before Cream interrupted me? And we're in Macon. We're at a Waffle House in the bathroom at a Waffle House. I get out. Beth goes on in an explanation on how Dorothy lied. This is all been lies. There is no person in the hospital. The person's at home. And I'm like, okay, all right, this Cream, don't you knock over the G.I. Joe Rattler. I don't know why you keep doing that. What? Okay, so I'm getting distracted by my own chat. I'm just going to turn the volume down a bit because that's a lot. I'm going to catch up with that later, I guess. Cream, I love you. I'm going to tell a story. I got to tell a story, Cream. Cream. So, Cream, get back over. Do you want more treats? Here. Take a treat. Go back over there. Eat your treats in peace, okay? Cream, use the brain cell. There's a treat in my hand. No, Cream, don't stare at the treat bucket. Ignore the treat bucket. There's a Cream, there's a treat here. Yeah. Oh. There you go. Okay. So we're at the. You're already done eating the treat. You were supposed to take longer than 2 bites. Okay. All right. So we're so anyway, all right, let me speed this up a bit because he's now gotten me so distracted. Got me the giggles too. Anyway, we're at the Waffle House parking lot. We learned that it's all been lies. That we've been driving to Kentucky under false pretenses. That this woman, no one's in the hospital. That she's had her goat. She didn't want to be in Florida anymore. She wanted to be in Kentucky at her home. And instead of just explaining that like an adult, she came up with some fabrication, some illusion, a big old lie and got us to believe it. And because I'm a good person and Beth's a good person, we rolled with it because we just wanted to make sure that those two people were okay. So I was upset. I was like, all right, we're gonna put this woman on a bus. This woman is going on a bus to Kentucky. She can go on Kentucky. It's Macon, Georgia. There's got to be a bus stop, and we are done. And I also explained like, if she gives us any problems, if she starts, doing a fit or something like that, we're at the Waffle House parking lot. I can walk into that Waffle House and explain to them we got a crazy lady in the car, and I know Waffle House employees are good to go if you've got a problem. Especially if a blind guy shows up talking about a problem he's got. Cream. I finally at least got to the Waffle Park. What's going on in the chat? Let's see. Cream. What in the world? What is a round pearl 2-in-1? What in the world is going on in the chat? What? Wait, what's going on in the chat? Are these just selling things in my chat? What's going on? Huh.
No. All right, we're getting back to this and seeing what's going on with the chat because that was weird. Okay, I don't know what was going on, but I think Cream accidentally turned my phone to another live YouTube channel, and I'm sitting there listening to looking at their chats, confused as all get out, until I noticed that the video had a different name. Cream, why do you do these things to me? Hello. Okay. Anyway, if I don't say the story, it's never going to get told. Because of all the distractions I keep getting myself. Anyway, so we're in the Waffle House parking lot. I'm like, Waffle House employees are good to go. We could talk to them if we need this woman out of the car. And otherwise I could call a few friends. We can get somebody to help us drive home if you're too tired. And we have a nice little conversation about it. And we come up with a game plan. I'm going to call a few friends. We're going to get an extra person to help us drive home. And we're going to get this woman on a bus. And they're going to be home for Christmas. We're going to be back in Florida for Christmas. And everything's going to be fine. Until Beth gets in the car. Now, when she gets in the driver's seat of the car and looks over at Dorothy, Dorothy has a snub nose pointed at Beth. And she says, "We're going to freaking Kentucky." She didn't use freaking, but you know what I mean. And, well, Beth is flabbergasted. Here this woman is now with a pew-pew pointed at her in the front seat of her car in a Waffle House parking lot of all places. And then I get in the back seat, right before Dorothy is trying to get Beth to leave me behind. She doesn't want the blind guy with her. And by the way, for some reason, this woman believes that I'm not blind, that I'm a swindler or something like that, and I fake being blind, and and it's just that's just kind of the ignorance part of it, where that's one of the things I'm trying to fix on my channel is getting people to understand that blind people are more than just the loss of their eyesight. Just because I don't have any eyes doesn't mean I have to act like I don't understand anything around me, or I don't understand an area around me. I'm good, and I'm an intelligent human being. I can learn, I can adapt, I can figure things out. And people, there's people I've noticed out there who don't seem to make the connection there, that just because you have a loss of an ability doesn't mean that you have also become mentally handicapped. And there's just a juxtaposition there that it's weird. I don't like it, but it's something I have to deal with as a blind person. And sometimes I grasp that this is going on, or at least I find out later, and I'm not mad, because sometimes it's okay if people are thinking the wrong thing. And that's really the big thing on this story, is this Dorothy woman was thinking the wrong thing. She was she was thinking one thing that I could completely see. And I only have light sensitivity. So I get in the back of the car. Beth tells me, "We're leaving. We're going to Kentucky." And I'm like, "Are you sure? I've got somebody that I can call and they can help out." And she's like, "No, I can make it. We're sure." And she puts it in a drive. Later, I find out. So I find out later that she was dealing with a conundrum question of, how do you tell a blind guy there's a pew pew involved in a situation without getting shot yourself? And I'm like, how do you do that? And it's definitely one of those that's a conundrum. So
we drive for a bit longer until till Beth can barely drive, and we take a nap, and we finally make our way to Kentucky. And meanwhile, I've been in the back seat talking to different people, just chatting away because Beth isn't really talking and Dorothy isn't really talking. And, I'm still not, now I've got kind of a hangover because, the alcohol and other things have left my system from a night at clubbing. So I'm just calling my friends and talking to them all night long, just shooting the breeze, having a good old time in the back seat, living my best life. And I got a little dog on my lap. It's a nice time in the back seat. I have no idea what's going on in the front seat. I'm just ignorance is bliss. Okay? So we get to Kentucky and we get to the address that Dorothy gave us. But Dorothy no longer lives there. Wow, big surprise there. Now we're going to the second location. The location she doesn't remember the address of, but she knows how to get to. So it isn't like we can send the address to anybody. And this is where I start sparking up. Like, I just want this woman out of the car. She's been bothering me. I haven't really liked her company, and I've just been polite. I've just been a polite Southern gentleman to her because she's an older woman, and she lied about that hospital thing, and that really did set me off. Like, you don't lie about those things on Christmas. It's Christmas. We're now spending money we didn't have, and I'm calling friends to borrow money to make sure that we can make it home. And that's why I had to cancel my Windcharger order at the time. I had to go online and cancel that to make sure that I had enough money to finish paying for gasoline and stuff as we're driving all Timbuktu in Kentucky, up some hills, down other hills. And then I learned that in Kentucky they don't believe in putting guardrails on the roads. I didn't see this, but Beth brings it up a couple of times that there's no guardrails there. And I'm like, well, what if you slide on ice or something? What stops your car from falling off the edge? And the answer is nothing. And I'm like, that's a horrifying place. At least put up a guardrail so if somebody hydroplanes or slides, there's something protecting you. Unless they have hidden nets that pop up somewhere. But I digress. So, real quick, what's going on here? We just made it to Kentucky. I'll keep that in mind. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat. What? What in the world? Huh. I seem to have like a lot of bots or something in the chat. That's weird. Like, this is the most active any of my chat rooms has ever been. That keeps surprising me. I'm like, what? There's comments happening? Wow. I'm used to that stuff being dead or something. I guess I should make Facebook posts more often. But then again, I can't actually read any of the comments from the people I care to read the comments of because there's a lot of bots. Okay. Huh. That's people saying not to do flowers. Did I switch to another? Cream, did you screw me up again? Huh? Okay. All right, let's see. Hi, Hudson. Moderator. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't have a mod. I'm learning this live stuff. I'm kind of a one-man show and I'm blind, so I was not expecting there to be this many bots in the chat.
the hell's even what? What? No. What in the world? No, dismiss that pin message. What? What in the world are y'all talking about? Cigars? What? Anyway, I keep getting distracted by a very talkative chat room today. I think I've gotten more chats in the past few minutes than I have in a year. This is wild. So back to the story at hand. We're going to the second location. This woman has, she gives us step-by-step instructions on how to get there. And so we finally get there. And meanwhile, she's still got a pew-pew pointed at my friend Beth. And I'm still oblivious in the back seat, just being, blind about the entire situation. Out of sight, out of mind, right? I'm going to turn this back down because that's getting crazy. Anyway, we get to the second location. And where's Bob? Bob ain't outside to get the bags from us. So Beth honks the horn. And then this woman in the front seat's like, people get shot around here for honking their horns. And I'm in the back seat like, I grew up in the backwoods of Alabama. Nobody gets shot for honking their horn. They're probably just going to assume that you saw a deer and you were honking it to spook it. Nobody cares. Unless it's something like, 1 a.m. in the morning, which it wasn't. It was like 8 p.m., so nobody cares. And I get out of the car and I'm like, all right, so I'm going to help you get your stuff, Dorothy, because I'm a nice guy like that. I didn't say that part out loud. I'm just like, I'm a nice guy like this. I also want this crazy woman out of my life, out of this car, into whatever building she lives in. I'm just done with her. I want her gone. So I get out, I pop the trunk. Later I find out, it's a good thing I popped the trunk because the license plate was there. And that way this woman couldn't get like a secret picture of it or something like that if she hadn't thought to do it beforehand. And I get her bags of things out of the trunk and I go, hey, Dorothy, real loud, like, I got your stuff right here. And where do you want it? And she comes around the corner of this vehicle. And Beth tells me what happened later there. But she comes around the corner of the vehicle and she says, no, I'll shoot you if you don't quiet down. And I'm like, I don't understand. There's a pew-pew involved. Out of my mind. I don't know that that's going on. So what I just laugh because it's the most outrageous thing I've heard all night. And I just laugh in her face. And I think to myself, ha ha ha, funny, crazy lady. Whatever. We're gonna be done with this in a bit. So I grab her stuff and laugh and say, where do you want it? Where do you want your stuff? And I get her to lead me back to her house. She keeps wanting to walk beside me or behind me, and I'm like, you can't lead me from back there. I need you to be in front so that I know where I'm going. Now come on, why are you being obstinate? And I push her forwards and get her to take me to her house. And meanwhile, like, I don't understand that the gun is now on me. Like it's on me now. And she is freaking out because she doesn't believe I'm blind. So when she pointed the pew-pew at me, I didn't react the way that I was supposed to react. Sorry, I got a cream cat hair in my nose because he just won't stop. But I didn't react the way that she expected me to react. Usually when a pew-pew is pointed at a person, they react in certain ways. But if they laugh in your face, that either means one of two things, if they're not blind. Like if they're a blind person, they don't understand. But if they're not blind, they're either crazier than you or they know they can take you out before you could pull the trigger. That's why they laughed.
And that's this woman now thinking. She's confused because she doesn't know where to put me. Am I on this side of the line, or am I on this side of the line? Because she refuses to believe I'm blind. So we get to her house. I help her get her stuff inside. And I get a chance to meet this elusive Bob, who is standing in the center of a hoarder's home with multiple dogs and tiny crates just barking away, and he is just chain smoking. And it smells filthy in there, it sounds filthy in there, and those dogs don't sound well at all. It's just nasty. It is pure nastiness in that home. And I want nothing more at that moment to be out of that place as quickly as possible. But also, this woman has upset me a bit, and I want to make sure that we leave on good terms. So I say, hi Bob, I'm Max, and I reach my hand out, and Bob doesn't take my hand, and I'm like, okay, all right, there goes my benefit of the doubt here. So I tell him about how much I've enjoyed Dorothy's time, how I've been very appreciative of everything going on. I really appreciate the open marriage that you have with Dorothy, because I have loved this woman, and it has just been amazing. All lies. But at the time, I knew that I was just going to screw with Dorothy and screw with Bob, because Dorothy'd been screwing with me, and she lied about all that stuff. So one lie deserves another lie. And I left with that one. Before I left, I give her a big hug. And after I give her the hug, Beth comes in realizing that I've done destabilize the situation. I've social engineered a different situation than what the situation was while we were still in the car. And Beth gets money from this woman for gasoline. And I have to give it, 2 thumbs up to Beth right there for totally jumping in and taking advantage of a situation like that, and playing around, just rolling with it. And I really appreciate people that can just roll with it whenever things are happening, and I'm doing my thing. Like if I'm locked in and keyed in my social engineering thing, I love it whenever the people around me roll with what I'm saying, because I'm usually going somewhere with it, and it's just really great whenever they just kind of go with it with me. And so we leave. Dorothy comes up to the window. I hear later from Beth that she's looking around for the camera. And we go to Beth's house, where we're going to be packing it up. And I grab my bag, and I'm like, okay, it's time for me to, I'll grab my bag, you grab your little dog, and we'll get to, we'll get inside. I'll go to bed, and tomorrow morning we can start packing some stuff. And she goes, no, we're not packing anything, well, except some bare essentials. And I said, why is that? And she goes, because Dorothy had a gun pointed at me since Macon, Georgia. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? There was a gun? I'm sorry. What? That shocked me. I was not prepared to hear those words. And I'm like, so what do you want to do? And she like, I'm going to pack up as many things as I can pack up right now. We're putting them in the car, and we're getting the hell out of Kentucky as quickly as possible. And that's what they did. And that's the first trip to Kentucky I took. And you know what? That one needed a week afterwards for me to recuperate. And that's why you didn't hear from me much after that, as I recuperated from an insane trip. I mean, the trip back to Florida was really nice. It was really swell. It flew by. I loved every second of it. I'll never regret that trip back. And if it took the trip up there and all that crazy stuff to get such a wonderful trip back, then you got to take the bad with the good sometimes. At least there was some good to be had. And that's one of those things that I want to point out after that story, is that it's important that you pay attention to those things. You pay attention to the good stuff that happens. You can focus on the bad stuff that happens. You can focus on the crazy bad event, or you can instead enjoy the moments that you shared with another person, the good times, the meals that were shared, the miles that were spent talking, the just the fun that you had with another person, and enjoy that instead of focusing on the bad that occurred, because definitely, yeah, that was scary. That was a scary moment for me, and that was my first trip to Kentucky. So later in January, we go back to Kentucky, and Cream wants more attention. Cream, you wanna look at the camera, huh? Get me more subscribers or more comments. Everybody say how much they love Cream. Everybody loves Cream, right? Yeah. If you're not a bot, you love Cream, right? Yeah. Only bots will continue talking about what bots are talking about. My non-existent moderator can take care of that for me. I'll get a moderator one day. We'll figure it out as we go on more and more with this stuff. But so the next time we go to Kentucky, we've got a plan. We've got some money saved away. No more needing to borrow from friends. We've been saving up because this one's a planned endeavor. All right, here's some more treats. Good Lord. Y'all like it when I give Creams treats, right? Yeah. All right, Cream. Here's some treats. They go over here. There you go. Oh. What in the world is going on? There's a lot of chats. What? Sorry, the chat's going by so fast I can barely get an understanding of what anyone is saying. Well, no, Cream. All right, so I don't think I'm going to post the next live video on YouTube. Not on YouTube, on Facebook, because I was not expecting this many bots talking about stuff that has nothing to do with the video. Cream. Love you, big fat cat. You need to go over there. So, we go up to Kentucky for the second trip. And this is midway through January. Cream, I don't want your big fat butt sitting on my arm. Get your butt off my arm. You silly cat. So we show up to Kentucky to pack up more of Beth's home and get everything situated and ready, because the third trip to Kentucky is the last one. That's the one where we're going to get everything that we possibly can get loaded up and carried back down to Florida. And so second trip is just getting an evaluation of what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done, and get a better understanding of what's happening around there. And of course, while we're up there, bad things have to happen because, well, that's kind of what I've learned about Kentucky over the past few weeks, is when you're in Kentucky, if something bad is going to happen, it's going to happen. Something bad can happen, it will happen in Kentucky. I don't know what's up with that state. It's like the Murphy's Law state. And we had hiccup after hiccup for our plans. So we're there. We spend a couple of days getting things situated, packing up stuff, grabbing other things. She grabs her cat. We learn that the bad things have happened over the past few weeks, that somebody's broken into her home, and they trashed the place, and they left all the propane on, and her poor cat got hurt, and we're taking care of all this stuff, and it's just like a bunch of brand new stressors and headaches that neither of us were expecting. And so now we have to deal with this new stuff, and well, it gets to be a bit too much. And of course, that's about the point we notice that the antifreeze in the car isn't working right. The car's not working. Cream. Oh my God. Cream. And the car's not working right at all. So we asked the mechanic to take a look at the car. It is a mechanic that well, Beth's been using for a long time. And I'm not going to name names on this mechanic, but I was not pleased with their service when it came to her vehicle and how they handled it. So I'm about to get into that. And Cream, I swear to God, I am going to put you out of the room if you don't stop, dude. I love you too, but enough is enough, man. Anyway, so we get to this where was I? Right. Okay, mechanics. All right. So we're leave. We bring the car to the mechanic to make sure everything's good before we're heading back because something was weird with it. It was acting a little wonky. It turns out that that it's nearly out of antifreeze. That there's a leak, and there's a leak because that's Cream. I love you to death. Okay, sorry. I swear to God, this live chat was going to go on for another couple of hours if I kept getting interrupted by cream face in my face. So, where was I? Right. Okay. I had to get back on track. He really threw me off rail. He kept doing that. So we did learn that the hoses for the vehicle have cracked due to stressors, and that's where the antifreeze is leaking from, and the vehicle needs repairs. So the vehicle gets repairs. We bring the vehicle into the shop. They put one of their quote unquote best mechanics on the job, a person that hasn't really had the best track record with Beth, and I have been watching them because they kind of gave me just the creepiest of vibes, and we head out. Vehicle's repaired, everything's good. We leave. We get to a little place in Tennessee, and I forget the name of it, but it had a wonderful love station with a Subway and a McDonald's. That was a great love station, and the manager at that station was just absolute, sweetheart of a human being. He really came through for us and helped us out a lot there because we parked in that Love's, and when we woke up, it was so cold. We were shivering. The breath was visible. Had to turn on the heat, turn the car on. The heat's not warming up. And the heat's not warming up. Why isn't the heat warming up? Why isn't the car warming up? What's wrong with the vehicle? And we pull it out of the parking lot, parking spot to put it at the gas tank area because she was going to fill it up anyway. And while filling it up, she walks over and takes a look at the parking spot and notices all of our antifreeze is in the parking lot. And that started our 33 hours at Love's, as we had to wait for a mechanic to show up all the way from Florida in order to fix our problem. And of course, when he's fixing the problem, he finds out, we sent him recordings of the engine as it was working and stuff like that. And this dude learns from the recordings. He's like, "Oh, your water pump's, it's fried. You got a busted up water pump. I can replace and repair that. No probs. I'll be up with a brand new water pump. Give me 9 hours." This guy drives 9 hours with his wife, and they show up. And this is a new Bob. This is Bob and Jamie, and they're awesome. So they show up to help us out. Jamie brings hand warmers. Jamie brings warm beverages. Bob brings tools and parts, and he puts on this crazy big, this crazy like one-piece outfit to allow him to get under the vehicle in this weather and stuff like that. And he just goes to town. And I like, "Was he all right, Jamie?" And Jamie's like, "He's got his audiobook. He's good. Just don't bother him." So we let him do his work. And whenever he's done with it all, the guy, he comes up and he goes, "I don't know what you did to," and, I don't know exactly what he said, but the equivalent to it is, he doesn't know how the mechanic could have made such a mistake, because where the foam rubber hose for the antifreeze stuff, for the coolant for the engine, is supposed to go over this little metal nozzle piece. and then get clamped down. Well, it went over the metal nozzle piece, but it got clamped down just on the very tippy edge of the metal. Like, give it time and it will come loose. It wouldn't come loose immediately, but it would come loose after, a few hundred miles of travel. And he was like, that's just suspicious. You must have had you either had a rookie mechanic work on this, or you had a mechanic that wasn't paying attention, or you had a mechanic that was doing something malicious. It's one of those three. But that isn't something that's normal. And usually those things are checked and double checked. At least in his shop they are. So we have to get the vehicle. We get the vehicle repaired, and we head out. Now we had to end up waiting a few extra hours because not only did the water pump blow, but the thermostat died as well. And so we needed to take care of the thermostat as well and get all that repaired and replaced. And it was just a big fiasco. And meanwhile, we got this cat in the car. The poor thing is just adorable, and it just wants nothing but loves. And got the little dog, wants nothing but loves. We were always around pleasant company, that's for sure. And me and Beth made the best of it. We joked, we laughed, we had as much fun as we possibly could, spending 33 hours at Love's. And I joke around with my friends like it needs to be a country music song. I'm pretty sure a good country music song can start off with 33 hours at Love's, trucks as far as the eye could see. I know our cars broke down, but at least you've got me. Something like that. You could make it to a pretty good little song, I think. So we get home just safe and sound, and that's the end of the second trip to Kentucky. Like I said, it just weird little hiccups happen. Things happen there that are odd, and we saw a lot at that truck stop. Multiple. Have y'all ever seen a married trucker couple fight in a truck stop parking lot? I've heard it. I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely heard that go down. I heard it go down multiple times. One time, I think there were fists involved. I don't know, but those trucker couples, they can scream and fight like the best of them. That's for sure. They woke one guy up and he started honking his horn at him until they shut up. That was kind of funny. Anyway, so third trip to Kentucky just recently happened. We left on the 1st of February, got back on the 11th of February, exhausted, just as tired as could be. Beth straight up slept for 32 hours after this last trip from Kentucky. And this last one was the doozy. We got everything done with her home. We got everything packed away into the trailer, and we got all that stuff shipped home. And of course, there had to be hiccups. And of course, the hiccups are attached to the mechanic, because why wouldn't they be? And this time, though, it was that the mechanic had ordered the wrong part for a truck, and needed to her truck that needed to pull her trailer, and we had to go and switch out the part. When we come back with the right part, turns out we need these other few parts as well. And we're like, you had 3 weeks from the second time we were in Kentucky to now to work on this truck, and you're just now on the third day we were in Kentucky deciding to work on the truck, on the day we're wanting to test the truck and make sure that you could pull the trailer. Just irritated the snot out of me. I tell you, I was so mad at that guy I could spit nails. I was furious with them over that. And they just, that was irritating because it slowed us up. We needed to make sure everything was good with the truck and start loading it. And, here we are unable to do that because the truck keeps needing new parts and pieces. And they didn't even finish repairing all the problems in the truck because, all the looking over they did, they totally missed that the transmission cable, I didn't even know there was a cable nowadays, but a transmission cable had frayed or something like that and gone bad. Where my family learned that the transmission cable had gone bad in the truck? Tennessee. This time not at a Love station. I think they were at a Waffle House or something. Anyway, so we got everything loaded up. We got everything packed away, absolutely packed away. It was a hellscape of snow and ice. I don't know if you've ever had to pack away a home in 10-degree weather with 5-degree to 0-degree wind chill, but I have now know how that feels, and I never want to repeat that. Next time I move anybody in the north, it's going to be in the spring or summer, because that winter, ooh, I know why. I know why so many critters sleep through it now. That is just that is a different kind of cold when you get into the single digits and the negatives. That is a different beast of cold that this Florida boy, this Alabama boy ain't used to. That is not my cold. Oh, that was bad stuff. So we go to the GameStop while we on that day the truck was getting repaired, because we're like, all right, well, if we're holding up on stuff, then we can go over to the eyeglass place and Beth can get her new eyeglasses that she's been wanting to get, and I can walk around the mall and stumble my way around and maybe find a GameStop or something like that and see if there's any new Transformers, right? So I do find a GameStop in this mall. Ashland, Kentucky, there is a GameStop. Wow. I go in and they don't have any Transformers, and I was very sad. So we leave, and a few days later, the trailer's done moved, everything's done. We're now waiting in Kentucky a few extra days because Beth still has more business to accomplish in Kentucky before we can finally leave Kentucky. And we're on a day that nothing's going on. And I'm like, hey, can we go check out that GameStop in the mall? Because that guy said there may be Transformers in the week. So we go to the GameStop in the mall. And sure enough, I talked to the guy behind the counter. He goes, well, we did get a big shipment of Transformers in, but then somebody came in and bought most of them. I'm like, scalper, son of a. Well, wait, you said most of them. And he goes, yeah, well, we had another box of them, and I just brought the box out a little while ago and put them on the shelf, but not nearly as many as we had, yesterday. And we go over to the shelf, and I ask him to go through them, and that's when he mentions Windcharger. And I finally get my Windcharger, because I'd been looking at it over the past few weeks, but it was now up to like $40 sometimes on Amazon. And I was like, I'm not going to pay 40. And then went down as low as 29. I'm like, I'm not going to pay 29. I mean, I barely want to pay the $27.99. I'm not going to pay $1 more. I'm sorry. It's already kind of pricey, in my opinion. So I go to the GameStop and I grab that, grab the Windcharger, go to the checkout, and I go, screw it. And I use my brother's code for GameStop, because me and him, we shop at GameStop all the time when we get the chance, and we just share code. And there's a coupon for action figures. So I managed to get my Studio Series 86, the movie Windcharger, for 2023 prices and not 2026 prices. And that's nice. I like to pay $24.99 for it instead of $27.99. And yeah, we finished up our trip. We went to Ohio. We got a few things that are legal in Ohio to get. We had some fun in Ohio since we had a few days. And then we headed back on here, and I'm making this live video now after a few days of recuperation, because it's taken me a few days to recuperate from the sheer amount of ice and snow I had to deal with, because I was not expecting ice and snow to be that difficult to work in. Definitely is a big change. So let's check on the comments, because that's the story all about how I got Windcharger. It's a long one, and I figured it'd be a fun one to tell. I didn't tell it the best because I kept getting distracted, but I definitely got told. Let's see. Huh. Wait.
Why is there a person that says moderating when I don't have a moderator? Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it all at that because I think some things are happening in the chat that may not be against YouTube terms of service. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. This blind guy's going to sign off as soon as I finish. As soon as I figure out how. Thank you all so much for enjoying my my tale, and I hope all of you out there have a wonderful time. Oh. Yeah, Ultraman. I don't know why that chat's going crazy, Ultraman, when the one on my phone is not. Yeah, you too, man. And all the other people who are watching, I'll have a good one as well. See if I can finish this up. Yeah, I want to stop streaming. Yeah. Yeah, I want to stop, please. Oh.